All right, so the Royal Rumble just passed. Happened on Saturday. This video's late, but I got a lot of stuff going on. As I always say on these videos, I am a father, and I do do grown-up things that gets in the way a lot of me doing this stuff. Sometimes, I've been pretty consistent lately. But yeah, my thoughts on the Royal Rumble. This video is just my thoughts on the on the Royal Rumble. You guys can write in the comments as well what you felt, how you feel about it. You hate it, whatever you guys want to say, right? But these are my feelings and what I thought about it. And yeah, before we get to that video, like and subscribe, and let's get to it. All right, so we had the Women's Royal Rumble, right? The Women's Royal Rumble was okay. I'm not gonna sit here and bash it. Definitely didn't have, enough surprises as we wish we would have had. We would have gotten, but I don't know. It was all right. I think the only surprise we really had was Brie. I feel like everybody else was like, okay. Mostly a lot of them were on the roster, right? From Raw and SmackDown. And then we had a couple NXT girls in there. Brie was literally the only surprise. Like when she came out, I said, oh, wow, Brie. Okay. I wouldn't say I was ecstatic, but I was happy to see her. She got a pretty good reaction. Doing all of her husband's moves, right? Known as Daniel Bryan in WWE, but is Bryan Danielson in AEW. Yeah, she got over like crazy over there. Everybody was genuinely happy to see her. So yeah, it was a little exciting. All right, I'll say that it was a little exciting to see her, and then seeing the Bella Twins together. So yeah, it was fun, that part. But generally, everything else was just everybody from the roster, right? I called it. If you've seen my predictions video, I called it and I said Bianca will win, right? As if she showed up. If she is not in this Rumble, Liv is the winner. I literally said it. And I clearly said if Liv won, I would not be mad at it. But if Bianca was in it, she was going to be the clear winner. Only because of the whole thing with Jade. What's going on with her? I'm not too sure. What's going on with her hand? It sounds pretty bad if it's taking this long for her to come back. You probably, I don't know. It was looking like it was gonna be Bianca in the Rumble, but then again, WWE never really teased it. They never really said it was gonna happen. But hey, look, Liv won. She was my second choice if Bianca weren't in the Rumble, right? So yeah, it was weird. And then a couple of the key moments that happened in the Rumble was the whole thing with Liv and Raquel, right? It was crazy because it was like she got a big elimination on Rhea, like how she just chucked her out, right? And then Liv came out of nowhere and eliminated her, and the look on her face when she was looking at Liv, and Liv just smiling, laughing. That was great storytelling right there. That right there was okay. It was good. It was good. And in the post show, Liv was saying, "Oh yeah, Raquel, I know she's very happy for me." And they're stirring things up. And they're like, "Have you seen Raquel?" She goes, "No, actually, I haven't seen her ever since, the Royal Rumble. But I've been really busy with media and all this." So she's biased. Raquel is not happy. She's just in her head saying, "Yeah, Raquel's happy." And I hope they do something with this. Don't just. Like, you have something here. This is a way of booking this thing with the Judgment Day. This could be the fallout for the girls. So something's got to happen here. Raquel's gonna probably have, well, she is gonna have the match on Monday. Well, tonight. What am I talking about? The match is happening tonight. How could I forget? Duh. I'm saying Monday, and today is Monday. Okay. See, I'm all over the place. So yeah, that match is happening tonight, and we'll see what happens. And we got the whole thing with Liv, right? Will Raquel beat Stephanie? I'm not too sure. I wouldn't mind her winning so that we can do this thing with Liv and Raquel. But yeah, I'm not too sure. Another thing that happened was the beginning with Alexa and Charlotte, right? That was another one where I was like, okay. They started off, teasing that they were going to throw each other out. Charlotte was definitely up for it. And then Alexa. And then all of a sudden, they're smiling and laughing and waiting for the next entrant. But during that match, I literally forgot who it was. It was... who was it? It couldn't have been Nia. It was somebody else. I can't remember. It was a lot going on. So I think they were working on eliminating somebody, or Alexa was eliminating somebody. And in the mix of that, Charlotte mistakenly hit Alexa. And the look on Alexa's face is like her heart was in a million pieces. Like her heart was broken when she got thrown out. It was just like her look and her mouth. And then Charlotte, like her face genuinely looked like she made a mistake. I don't think she actually wanted to do that. It genuinely looked like she made a mistake because they were helping each other, right? And it was a mistake when she just bumped into her. Now, it'll probably be shocking if we do the Alexa turning on Charlotte instead of us all thinking that Charlotte is the one. Excuse me. That Charlotte is the one that's doing the heel turn when it's Alexa doing it, right? Because they did that well with the whole Nia, her being she was clearly the Goliath of the feud, but it worked out so well because Alexa was such a horrible person that Nia got over, right? So you can do the same thing with Charlotte. Everybody's starting to like Charlotte now. So if you do this thing with Alexa being a total asshole, turning on Charlotte, it's something new and something we don't see coming. I mean, us nerds will see it coming, but the casuals won't, right? They all think it will be Charlotte. But yeah, those were my things in the Royal Rumble. Oh, and I'm forgetting another one. Wow, almost forgot. Kairi Sane mistakenly taking out Asuka. That was another one. And I feel like every single one that I just named was literally women that's in the tag team division. They've been doing a solid job with the tag team division for the women, but every angle that they did here was literally something from like the tag team division. I don't think they teased anything with Rio and I said Rio, Rhea and Io. There we go. I don't think so, right? Not that I can remember. I just can remember the three big ones were Liv and Raquel, Charlotte and Alexa, and Kairi and Asuka. Those were the ones that I could remember. But yeah, those were the big moments in the Royal Rumble match because I don't think there were anything. I mean, the big three, that was fun. They're definitely doing something with Soruka. For her to be the three? Think about that for a second. She was, well, before Liv took out Raquel, she was the 4. Then they took her out and she ended up being the 3. Soruka was number 3 in there. You had Liv, Tiffany, which is like, okay, yeah, Tiffany, but Soruka was 3. Interesting, right? And she had a pretty good showing in the match. She did a lot in there that was really surprising. And I don't know what they're gonna do in NXT with Soruka and Zarya. They're gonna do something, but I'm not too sure what. But yeah, the Royal Rumble, they did, like I said, they definitely set up some things for future feuds and for some women to break up, right? JC Jane, she had a decent Royal Rumble. Was that her debut? I don't know if she's ever been in the Royal Rumble. I think that was her first. Not too sure. But Lola Vice, she was a surprise, but again, she wasn't at NXT that I can remember. So yeah, definitely a couple of women that we didn't see in NXT were here. Well, there. I'm saying here. See what I'm saying? I gotta cop that out. Some of the women that weren't in NXT on Tuesday were there on Saturday. So, wasn't too much of a shock, but rumors were floating around that certain women from NXT were gonna be there, and came out to be true, right? So Ruka was a definite. We knew that because of the whole Zariel thing. Lola Vice, I just thought it was just one of those moments where they didn't have her on TV, just to save her for that for the North American title that I think she's gonna be going after. But yeah, definitely some key moments in that Royal Rumble where it was like, okay. Now the whole thing with Jordynne Grace, I think maybe if they're not doing this Bianca thing, Jordynne Grace might be doing something with Jade. Maybe at the Elimination Chamber or maybe at the Royal Rumble. I don't know what's going on with Bianca. Again, this is kind of weird that she's been out for this long. And like I said, I predicted the whole thing for her to win. But my second runner was Liv if she wasn't in it or wasn't going to win. Because Liv was the favorite going into this. But yeah. You guys tell me what you think about the Women's Royal Rumble. It wasn't that exciting, right? Look, it was okay. I enjoyed it. It was fun for me. And before I forget, again, Brie came back and you had Nikki together. This time they didn't do the whole thing where it was like one of them turning on each other like last time, right? So they were definitely worked together. If one of the tag teams that, like I just mentioned, that had their moment, like potentially, showing that they're gonna break up soon, at least add the Bellas now into the tag team division, right? You need that. Put the Bellas in there. And I think we'll do pretty well with them in there. The Iconics, bring them back too. I would have thought one of them would have came into the room, but they didn't do that. And I didn't mention them in my prediction video. It was really hard to predict who was going to be in that Royal Rumble match. Because, again, it wasn't even too much chatter about who was going to do it. I never mentioned Paige because I didn't think she was going to do it. I'm surprised. But I didn't mention her neither because, again, reasons. Not saying that I know it all, but it was just, I had a feeling. I don't know. Something told me not to mention certain people that didn't actually show up. I didn't mention Brie at all either, but again, the only reason why I didn't bring up Brie is because of the whole thing with Bryan Danielson being in AEW. But I'm surprised. She shocked me that she showed up in the company. So, but yeah, Women's Royal Rumble, it was pretty good to me. It wasn't the best, but hey, I'm happy for Liv. She's a Jersey girl. I'm from Jersey, so I root for my Jersey people. All right, so yeah, I'm happy about that one. And now moving on to, this was a tough one for me. AJ Styles and Gunther. In my predictions video, I predicted Gunther to win. Only because of all the stuff AJ Styles was saying. It sounded like he was going to be done. I said it before. Listen to what he said before closely. Like, pay attention to what he said when he said that he was going to retire. He didn't want to tour like John Cena. He was just going to retire in 2026. We didn't know when in 2026. We all predicted maybe the WrestleMania, right? And no. He wanted to be 10 years to the day. It wasn't to the day, but to that pay-per-view. He started in 2016, ends in 2026 in the Royal Rumble. Like he started in 2016 in the Royal Rumble. It's poetic, right? So it is what it is. AJ may be done completely with wrestling. I know a lot of people won't like that, but at the end of the day, he owes nothing to no one. He gave us everything for a long time. He was Mr. TNA. He went to Japan. He did his thing. He did his thing in the Indies. He came to WWE. Did his thing. Nobody would have never thought he would have made it to the level he did in WWE. 2-time United States champion. I think 1-time Intercontinental champion. And I think 3 or 4 times United States champion and a tag team champion. The guy is phenomenal. Not to steal his thing, but he's definitely phenomenal. He had a phenomenal career. What else does he need to prove? Yes, we would love to see him go up against Kenny Omega, and other people, or Will Ospreay, and some of those people in AEW. But if he doesn't go there, don't be upset. The man has given his all to wrestling, and he doesn't need to do it if he doesn't want to. It's us being selfish that we need him to do it. But honestly, no, he doesn't have to do it. And whatever talks that he's had with Triple H and with whoever else, it kind of sounds like he's going to be giving back to wrestling, like in a backstage kind of role. So let's see what happens. I don't know if he's going to stay with WWE to do that kind of stuff, or he's going to go somewhere else. Or hell, maybe he might just have another match in TNA or go to AEW. Who knows what he'll do? Excuse me. We don't know what he's going to do. That's what I'm saying. But that match was so awesome. It was better than their match that they had on Raw. So much better. Not saying that the one on Raw wasn't good, but this one was so much good. A lot of action. A lot of 1-2 oohs, right? Getting us like, oh, AJ's gonna do it. Oh no, he's not gonna do it. Oh, he's gonna do it. It was so good. And the cut that he had on his forearm, I don't even know how that happened. He was bleeding. It looked bad, but he fought through it. And towards the end, Gunther got him in the choke. And I don't know if anybody else noticed, but I'm the only one who noticed this. The ref is what gave me that it was so good. If you paid attention to the ref, his reaction, he genuinely looked sad and didn't want that to happen. Maybe it was really good acting, I don't know, but when Gunther had him in the choke for that, when his last breath, and Gunther kept saying, well, the referee at first was just like screaming, AJ, AJ. And Gunther just turns and says, he's out. And the referee just looks at Gunther and then he grabs his arm. He looks very concerned, the ref. He didn't want it to end. He was just, I felt like inside, I don't know, it was just something with the ref. He was genuinely upset. And then when he had grabbed his arm and then it wasn't moving, he had to call the match. And you could tell by when he got up, he shook his head. Dude, that is great acting. I don't know if it was acting or maybe he was genuinely like, God damn, this is the last time. He was screaming for AJ. Not because he wanted him to get up. I don't want to say that the ref was like pulling for him. Maybe he was. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. But go back again and watch the referee. His reaction and his screaming for AJ. He was screaming his name and his face just looked emotional. Kind of getting me emotional right now. But yeah. AJ did so much for wrestling. So if this is the last time we'll see him, hey, it is what it is. He deserves to, be with his family. So yeah, AJ, he's trying to hold on. He's done a lot. So yeah, definitely just let him do what he wants to do. So yeah, it's okay. Ooh, excuse me. It's okay. Just let that man do what he wants to do, right? just the way he went out, put the gloves on the mat. You could tell he didn't want to do it, but wow. Here I am tearing up. But yeah, he didn't want to do it. The crowd didn't want to see it, so he put him back on. You could tell AJ was genuinely really hurt. And again, he might just go anywhere else. Who knows what he's gonna do? But this was a really good match, and how everything went, good. AJ is phenomenal. Hall of Fame. Definitely he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. Only for 10 years when that he was in the company, he's done so much for 10 years in WWE. He's done a lot in TNA. He's Mr. TNA. He's number one there. New Japan, he did what he had to. He did his thing over there too. AJ is definitely what he says he is, phenomenal. Point blank. He doesn't need to go to AEW. He doesn't need to go back to TNA. He doesn't need to do a surprise back into it. He doesn't need to do any of that. He did what he had to do. That's it. But yeah, AJ Styles. Tip your hat to you. Thank you for everything. Trying to hold it together there. But then we hit to Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE title. I don't know what's going on, but to me, it didn't feel like a lot of the people in Saudi was, usually they're louder for him, but I don't know, for some reason it wasn't as loud. Only, I don't know, it was weird, but maybe because Drew is doing so good, right? And we'll get to the men's Royal Rumble, but I said it again in my predictions video. Drew was gonna win. Even if Sammy was going there, I said maybe Sammy could win, but I said no because of what's going on with this thing between Cody and Jacob, right? And we'll get to that Royal Rumble, what he did. But look, Sammy looked great here. He did what he had to do. He definitely fought really hard, and a lot of moments where it seemed like he was going to win. But Drew, in the end, he wins, But Sammy definitely pulled a lot into this match. And hey, look, maybe they'll do something for the Saudi and WrestleMania next year. Maybe they want to save that, right? So maybe we'll do something next year for Sami Zayn winning a title. And I know that's a long time. So that means maybe he can win the Royal Rumble next year. Just saying. Maybe he can win the Royal Rumble and then go after whoever has the title. I will do it that way. It's fine if they do it that way. I wouldn't mind. But yeah, definitely predicted Drew winning, and it's okay. Again, Sammy's still good. They're definitely just saving this thing where Sammy's gonna win the title soon. It was just, I feel like this was something for them to do because he was gonna be, they were going to Montreal, so have him win there. They're going to Saudi, so let's have him on the show. But he's gonna lose. So that right there is just another reason for us to be like, damn, Sammy almost did it again. And we're not gonna give up on Sammy, but I don't think it was the right time to even have Sammy win that belt for reasons, like I said, they have stuff going on. So it's very interesting what they're going to be doing. But yeah, I want to move on to the men's Royal Rumble. Really good. To me, it had more, I wouldn't say more surprises, but okay. I wouldn't say generally it was more surprises. It was just the stars they had in it, right? I don't think anything in here was wasted. What they did, everything was good. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna sit here and complain. When I did my predictions video, I did predict that Roman Reigns was gonna win. I said it. I said Roman Reigns is the favorite, and I said if he doesn't win, it's Braun Breaker. But I was leaning more towards Roman Reigns for reasons. And so before I get to that, shocking what they did, right? So Obafemi came out first, and then Braun was second. But before Braun can even get to the ring, their favorite thing to do, a hooded figure, came and attacked them. And he did a stomp. Very too well, right? And it was like, huh. So everybody's saying it was Seth Rollins, right? Interesting. It could be Seth Rollins, or you could have another guy having his lackey, right? Because he's gonna need an army. It can't just be him. Again, like I said, I think Theory is the mole in that group. Now, would I say Theory was the one who did it? I wouldn't say that. I think what they're doing is they're throwing a curveball at us, and they're doing something where Seth is building his army, where have Theory gain their trust, right? Maybe when the attack was happening, Theory was next to Bronson or next to Logan, whoever he was next to. He was there, present the whole time, and they're probably looking like, who the hell is this? Oh, it's Seth. We definitely know it's Seth. Look, Theory's right there. He's in the Royal Rumble. Why would he go out there and attack Braun just to run in the back and then take off the hoodie and everything just to come back into the Rumble, right? Maybe I'm overthinking it, but that's just what I'm saying that could have happened. But yeah, Braun, in a million years, I would have never thought they would have done what they did with him getting attacked, then throwing him into the ring to feed him to Oba, and Oba just throwing him out. Ridiculous, right? Did not think that was gonna happen. So yeah, Braun Breaker was eliminated. He didn't even last that long. So not saying that that they didn't job him out. So for people to say, oh, they jobbed him, that's it. No, it's definitely a story thing what they're doing here. So definitely you're gonna have a Seth Rollins match, right, at WrestleMania with Braun Breaker. So good setup. And the person who attacked him, another lackey. I wouldn't say lackey. I don't want to say that. Another person that he has, so that Theory could be in the clear to continuing being his mole. And whoever that person ends up being could be Theory's partner, right? Or whatever they're gonna do. I don't know who it's gonna be. Who knows? But maybe all along it could have just been Seth, and maybe Theory is in this group all the way in. But I don't know. I just feel like he's a mole. I made a video about that too a long time. Nah, I won't say a long time ago, but you can go back. I'll put it on here, right? It's in. Just click on one of my links. You'll find it in a playlist, or just look through my videos and you'll find it. That Austin Theory is playing the Vision. But yeah, that was definitely a shock for me. And then they were feeding each people to Oba, just throwing them out. Rusev was one of them, and that break my heart. Come on, Rusev. Mike Cardona, he's actually the first wrestler I've ever met in person and actually not talked to him for a very long time, but actually interacted with. Cool guy. I would never stop talking about it. Never stop talking about it. He's a really nice guy. I really hope one day he wins the big one. He deserves it. He made his way back. Now he's in the same company as his wife, Chelsea Green. Very happy for him. But yeah. I'm trying to think who else he threw out that he was just feeding. And at one point he started just pumping his chest. Just like next. It was like when Brock Lesnar was doing it. in 2019, right? It was like all over again when we seen all this. No, it was 2020. Yeah, sorry, it was 2020. I said 2019. 2020. My bad. Yeah, it was definitely it was good to see. Oh, but you know, certain people he did that with was just like, nah. But whatever, it is what it is. Then we get Damian Priest out there, and then that's when everything just started to get interesting, right? You're starting to get all these people starting to build up again, and then Cody Rhodes gets out there, right? And then at one point we get Royce Keys, right? First we get that Tron where it says, I got happy when I saw Powerhouse Hobbs, and I'm like, oh my god, he's keeping the name. And then they just said Royce Keys, and I'm like, oh, I got excited for like 2.5 seconds that he was keeping Powerhouse Hobbs, and then all of a sudden Royce Keys popped up. Look, I'm not gonna get upset. Right, we are definitely gonna get used to that name. It happens all the time. When Gunther was Walter, we got pissed and we said, Gunther, what the hell is that? And then all of a sudden everybody forgot about the name, right? We had somebody named Dolph Ziggler, for crying out loud. There were definitely some weird names we've had, but you know what? We stuck to it and we just said, whatever, it is what it is. But yeah, Royce Keys, that's the name of his son, Royce, and then Keys, I think is his mom's last name. So look, it is what it is. We'll get used to it, but I just hope that they really do something for him in this Royal Rumble. It'll be cool. I hope so. And then, but yeah, the stars that we had in this Royal Rumble was insane. Of course, we had Brock Lesnar showing up, right? He's suplexing everybody. Same old. I didn't like when he eliminated Oba. That right there is just like, okay, not a big fan of that one, but it is what it is. At one point, all right, when Jey Uso came out, what in the world? Okay, I think at this point LA was in the ring, right? So when LA came back, LA got the big ovation. They love LA Knight. So Jay comes out, right? At one point when he's doing the whole yeet thing again, Brock Lesnar got eliminated during that, or we missed it, and it was just like, huh? Wouldn't we do like something like a big elimination on who took Brock out, right? I think I want to say it was Cody in LA. I don't remember. It was so much going on, but very disappointed about that one. That they didn't even make it a big deal when Brock got eliminated. Look, I put my hands up with that one. I can't defend them with that one. That was terrible. What else did we have? Then we had okay, this was my favorite one. El Grande Americano. He came out, right? The fake one. Then all of a sudden we get a Grande Americano again, the music, and I'm like, what the hell? And it was the original. Now a lot of people were moaning and complaining, saying that, oh, we should have just showcased Chad Gable coming back. I get that, but the story is he was the original, and when he got hurt, Ludwig is the one. If you guys don't know, it's Ludwig. All right, Ludwig Kaiser, he's the one that's under that mask. And we all know it's Chad Gable in the other mask. But Ludwig just took this gimmick out of nowhere. So Chad and him are going to have this feud. Remember when I said, I don't know, you watch my videos. I don't know how many of you guys keep up with my videos, or the ones who's coming back even paid attention. I don't know. But if you want to go back to my videos about the Creed Brothers, what I said, if you go back to my my videos where I had recaps and I had discussions, right, with the tag team, you know, stuff like that I do, pay attention to what I say about they could do this thing where Creed brothers, like whatever happened to the Creed brothers, why weren't they around, right? For all this going down with the Ludwig. They did tease it a little bit when they saw Ludwig too. They definitely did tease that. Like they were upset that he was dressed up as Grande Americano. They weren't pleased by that because they know who was under that mask, right? They knew it was Chad Gable, their leader. So with him back, you have this thing where you can have Chad Gable and the Creed brothers versus Ludwig Kaiser, and is it Bravo and Royal? That's their names, but just to let you know, it's the Bruiserweight, right? The Bruiserweight is one of them, and the other one is the big strong boy, and that's all I'll say. I won't really say their names, but if you know those nicknames, then you know who they are. Anyway, back to what I'm saying. So you can definitely do a 3-on-3 match, right? 6-man tag team match between those three, and just have this rivalry between Chad Gable and Ludwig Kaiser. But yeah, that was fun for me. Then you had all of the Vision in there. I'm definitely not in order with everything what happened, but I'm just giving you the key moments of the match. All members of the Vision were in there. When LA Knight came out, like I said, he had a massive ovation. He took out every freaking member. From what I can remember, he took out every single one, right? I think the only one he didn't take out was Logan. I think Logan was the only one he didn't take out. But he took out Bronson and he took out Theory. Definitely took those two out. Logan, yeah, like I said, I think he was the only one who he didn't take out. Because I think Logan lasted to be the 4, right? He was definitely up there with that number. And I'm just like, how the hell did Logan even end up being in that spot? Whatever, I'm not going to sit here and argue. But yeah, Roman Reigns came out. Like I said, that was my winner. Only because of him being the favorite. And if it wasn't him, it was going to be Bronson. And clearly it wasn't Bronson. I said Bronson. Braun Breaker. Sorry. Confused them. Yeah. I said it was going to be Braun Breaker if Roman wasn't going to win. But definitely I was leaning more towards Roman for reasons. But yeah. Who else came out after Roman? All right, number 30. I don't know why a lot of people were thinking it was going to be like this massive surprise. It was Gunther. I thought I heard them say that he wasn't going to be in the room anymore due to the match that he was having with AJ. But clearly I was wrong. So, okay, maybe I didn't hear that, right? So, yeah, Gunther was number 30. Surprising that Jericho wasn't in this, but he wasn't. If you see my predictions video, I did say that he was still listed as an AEW wrestler. So don't know if maybe they're saving it till today, maybe, or later on. I'm not too sure what's going on with that. But Chris Jericho was a massive talk to be in this Rumble, and he never turned it out to be. I mean, WWE never said it or teased it. So hey, good job on them for that one. Again, a lot of people expected names that they thought was going to be in this didn't end up showing up. Again, that's on you for, putting that expectation in yourself. Stop doing that. This is why people get upset. But yeah, look, this was an enjoyable Royal Rumble, right? It wasn't the best ever, but it was an enjoyable card altogether. A lot of exciting things going on. The Royal Rumble matches, yeah, they don't have enough surprises, right? Like how Vince did it. But it's definitely a lot more storytelling in these Royal Rumble matches, right? Setting up a lot of things. So Triple H is more into the stories and what he does with these Royal Rumbles. Yeah, he gets he gets a lot of criticism. But if you really pay attention to what Triple H does, it's more of the story he focuses on. than what he does with the surprises, and that's what the Royal Rumble was all about. And he needs to be careful with that also, because we should still keep that aspect of surprises, but also telling stories at the same time. Don't just do one surprise, two surprises. We need to have a little bit more surprises in these things so that people can just generally be excited for the Rumble all over again. It's going to get to the point where everybody's not going to be too excited for the Rumble anymore. I mean, he did okay. Sometimes one is better than the other. Look, women's Royal Rumble match did what they had to do. The men's had to do what they had to do, right? And it was a lot better. I'll say the men's were a little bit were a little bit more surprises there than what they were with the women's. We had one, which was Brie, and everybody else was just NXT and Raw and SmackDown superstars. But definitely the men's one, there were stories there too again. But yeah, don't want to forget about the part. Okay, Drew at one point, he eliminated Cody, or I can't remember if someone eliminated Cody because of Drew, but I know Drew was involved with it. Same thing with Jacob. So again, there's gonna do something. I think they're gonna have a triple threat match between those three. Won't mind it. It's something totally different from what they were gonna do, where they were gonna do this Cody and Roman match, which is like, we've seen it already. In the last 3 years, we're gonna do a third match? No. Let's not do that. Wait it off. Wait a bit until you do that again. But yeah. So a triple threat between those two, and I think Roman's gonna go after CM Punk. That's just what's gonna happen, because he's not gonna go after Drew. He's gonna go after CM Punk, and that's gonna be very interesting. Because have we seen that match before? I'm not too sure. Maybe we have, before CM Punk exited. I'm not too sure if he did. But remember back in the day when the Shield were around, and CM Punk was saying, who is the future of this company, right? And he was saying, it can't be Dean, when that was John Moxley's name in WWE, when he's Dean Ambrose. It can't be Seth. Is it you, Roman? And then Roman just looked at, this is when Roman weren't talking so much, and he was so much cooler and badass before they started trying to do this babyface thing with him and succotash and all that crap he was saying. Ugh, terrible stuff. But yeah, that's when he was cool Roman and everybody liked him, right? So maybe they could bring that back, like, this whole thing with what CM Punk was saying before, and a full circle with them getting into a match. Interesting there, right? So I think not a lot of people thought about that, but yeah. So the rumor was fine. I don't think it was the most horrible thing ever. Yeah, Triple H's getting criticism again. I think people just want to see more excitement into these things again, with more surprises and stuff. I didn't complain. I was watching it. I know I said I was gonna stream it too. I had difficulties with my stream. I don't know what was going on. I tried it twice and it just kept freezing as I was streaming, and it was not good. It's embarrassing, but it is what it is, you know. And of course, literally as I said that it was embarrassing, my camera goes down, and I had to cut this part and redo it again. But yeah, it was embarrassing. But yeah, look, that was the Royal Rumble. I didn't get to stream, and I didn't get to put my stream on here because the last stream I did pretty well in the views than most of my other videos is. I don't know, maybe you guys just like watching live videos, I don't know. But unfortunately I couldn't get it done with the Royal Rumble. But again, technology. Like right now, my camera, look at the angle now that I'm in. I don't know, maybe I need to get the remote for this new camera. It's a motion camera, so I gotta figure this out. But yeah, that was the Royal Rumble, my thoughts on it. Like, subscribe, and look guys, I appreciate you guys watching my videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.